So, where did you grow up?
Dude, I grew up, so I was born
Aussie Icegoat
in West
says locked in
Virginia,
chat.
in Richmond actually, like right outside of West Virginia. And then I moved here when I was about in like first or second grade. I moved to Buffalo, New York, which is a great city, man. Go Bills.
Okay, so are you still in New York?
Yep, I've lived here ever since like first, second grade, and I am now just turned 23 about a week ago, March 3rd.
Is that shirt is that a meme or are you actually from divorced parents?
I'm from divorced parents. I just wore this as like a little
Nice.
gimmick today, you know? Yeah, man.
Nice. I love that shit. I love it.
Thank you, bro. My
Uh
friend got it for me for Christmas.
so how long have you been doing content?
Oh man, dude. So I've been doing it for as early as I can remember. So I remember sitting down like when I was a kid, bro, like 12, 13 years old. We had like this little couch upstairs, like right above me. And I would sit there with like a laptop on like my thighs, and then I would have a mouse pad like right next to me on the couch cushion. And man, I can remember like that was the first like memories of me editing videos and like making stuff and be pissed off at like people in the background making too much noise, man. And I was probably only like 13 or 14 years old, man, maybe a little bit younger. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you have a little brother, right?
yes, I've got several younger siblings.
So you had to tell him to shut up all the time when you try to make some content, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Do you
man.
have like your first video ever uploaded, like the first content you ever created?
I don't, unfortunately. I'm sure like somebody could find it like better than I could. There's definitely like if you would search like my like first and last name, you could definitely like find some stuff out there, man. And there's
Hmm.
some old stuff too, like just scattered about. But on like my main channel that I currently have to this day that was started in 2014 of February, so a little over 10 years ago, man. Um yeah, earliest videos are probably only from like a couple years ago because like people at school, man, used to like make fun of me. You know how all that stuff is. So I used to
Yeah,
get like
yeah, for sure.
very I was very self-aware of that stuff. So I was like, I don't know.
Self-conscious.
Self-conscious is the word. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
self-conscious.
yeah. So, what was your first video? Do you remember that?
Yeah, so my first videos were Minecraft videos, man. I was at the time addicted to this guy called Beijing Canadian and a bunch of different like
Mm.
Minecraft YouTubers back in the day, and I tried to best as I could like recreate the content that I was watching, man. And that was like the earliest point where I was like obsessed with content creation and just like learning about it. And I
Hmm.
remember I had like different things like edits to like, like playthroughs. And I loved this server called Blitz Survive. It was called highpixel.net. That was the server. And I loved Blitz survival games for some reason, man. I probably got like 1,000 hours on that.
Do you know what they say about YouTube or Minecraft YouTubers now, right?
Oh my
You know?
gosh, bro. It's a bad stigma, bro. I'm glad I got out of that little, little
Yeah,
area, you know what I'm
yeah, that could be you.
saying?
You're
Jesus
good
Christ.
thing you're out. You know, you made it, man.
I fucking made it, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna ask who your favorite content creator growing up was, but you kind of went over that.
Yeah, it's definitely like changed. I've had several, man. I feel like, I've always gravitated towards like somebody in the gaming space. I could early on remember watching like YouTube and then like, Louis Caliber, like the guy that did like yeah, I'm gonna freaking like the little baby kid voice, that
Mhm.
guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Man, Vanos, and then, just like, there's always like
Dude,
a
I
new
love
guy popping
Vanoss.
up, so I was
Yeah,
always
Vanoss
just,
was that
go
was the
ahead.
shit.
Yeah, dude, Vanos, dude, I just have like early memories of Vanos and like all those different YouTubers. I feel like there was always like a new guy though coming up though that I would always be watching too.
Yeah, they did like Gmod and shit. Like
Hmm.
they had to get across like without dying. I don't remember what they were doing, what the game mode was called, but they had to do something where they had to get across the other side without dying, and it was like so funny. I always laughed when I was a kid at
Dude,
that. So
so funny. Those guys just like, and I'm pretty sure like some of them are still making content to this day, which is really cool. I don't really watch too much of anything anymore, bro. I'm so freaking busy,
yeah,
I feel
you're on
like.
the grind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Kind of moving more towards TikTok here. What was like the big break? What was the first video you made that like went crazy? And like tell me like how that happened.
Oh, dude, great question. So I was actually down here in this very basement, man, and I just downloaded TikTok. I think I was going through like a breakup at the time. So I must have been like a senior, or just like getting out of high school, right? And I was looking for something to kind of like take my mind off of that, and I ended up finding TikTok. I fell in love with like watching people's videos for like about a week or two, and then I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna post something that I think is like some of my own stuff, right? And I ended up posting this one video of me getting stuck in a life preserver. I have a life preserver somewhere in my room that like signifies
Wait, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I've
man.
seen that one.
Yeah, and that was like the first one that I ever posted. And I remember like going to play some video games. And I was talking to my younger brother Braden at the time, who's 21 now, a little bit younger than me, and we were just like chopping it up, having a conversation. Next thing I know, I look at my phone and I'm like getting hundreds of thousands. Like my phone is like glitching. It's like going so fast of the amount of shares and stuff. And it was only within like maybe a few hours. And then when I woke up the next morning, it was at like millions of views, dude. And I had like tens of thousands of followers already. And I pretty much got like a TikTok platform handed to me, bro, like right after a really bad breakup. So at that point I was like, I got no other choice but to like grind, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like where did you take it from that video?
So after that video, man, I like made another video kind of like posting about how like thankful I was that like it reached that many people, and then how many like I was very thankful that like there was that many people out there, bro, that like even thought I was funny, because at a very young, even at a very young age, and like growing up to like now, man, I've always been a very like, I have a lot of self-doubt. So this is one reason why I have the TikTok thing tattooed on my arm, bro, because like that like whole entire journey, you know, like kind of fast forwarding a little bit, that whole entire journey, man, just meant so much to me. It was kind of, that instance right there was the first instance where I was like, man, I think there's people out here that would like watch me like do things. And that was like the first time where I could like, where I realized that me being a content creator could actually be like attainable. And it was unreal to me at the time, man. I was so stoked.
Yeah, and you were like, I have to take advantage of it now, right?
Absolutely, bro. Yeah.
So when did like this character? I showed a couple videos before I said I was ready. When did this character come and play?
Man, so before I say anything, my middle name is Osborne, so Channing Osborne, right? And I've always been into like characters and like that. I think it's my favorite form of comedy, is just like the character comedy. So growing up, man, it was like always different like voices and acts that I would do. And I came up with Ozzy, and he was just like a high pitched, like grittier, more like less filtered version of myself, you know? And I remember just like seeing another person, I forget what their name was on TikTok, but they were doing something very similar in a sense to like having like an alter ego or something like that. So I was like, dude, this is exactly what I want to do at that time. So I made a couple videos, man, and they freaking broke the internet. And like when I thought I was blown up on like TikTok beforehand, man, that was like when I started seeing some unreal success, was those character Ozzy videos. And I think it confused a lot of people because people didn't know if it was like a character, if it was like a real person. And then like they saw some of my old videos where I'm talking normally, and they just couldn't decide. They were so like people, I don't know, I feel like it just confused a lot of people with that.
So at that time, were you happy with like the character that you had? I know now it's a little bit different, but at that time, were you like, this is awesome, I'm having the time of my life?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy because like at that point, bro, I'm still like, I'm like 18 or 19, like just getting out of high school. You know, I've been making videos at this point since I was like 14, you know, so I've got like 4 or 5 years under my belt, right? And I thought that was like my big break, man. Like, and it was like, it gave me so much confidence in myself, and it gave me like the ability to understand that there is like literally hundreds of thousands of people out here that like could potentially see me as like a product of entertainment, which is really cool to me, you know. And yeah, spinning back on like why I got that tattooed, bro. So it's like something that was very, very important to me at the time, you know. It felt like I made it, per se, you know.
Yeah. One of my favorite videos that I watched right before I called you was you were saying something about how everyone comments first, you know, on TikToks when you post them. It's like, I could post something dead and you would still, or I could post that I'm dead and they would still post first. And I thought that was hilarious. And because you just died on the spot, dude. I thought that was great content, and that was out of character. That wasn't even your character. And I think that's one of your best videos.
Man, thank you so much, bro. And you know what? That's crazy because like I've posted thousands of videos, bro, to where like somebody will hop up in chat, or like I'll have a conversation with somebody, and everyone's got like their favorite, you know, like thing that I might have done, right? And it's different every time, and sometimes I even forget about them, bro. And that was one of those ones where I'm like, oh my gosh, you just pulled out a memory out of my brain. I do remember making that video.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So how would you get yourself into your character? Was it just like a switch? Did you do any kind of prepping?
Um, man, a lot of the times, like, this is something I've actually never talked about before because getting into character is not that difficult for me, man. A lot of the TikToks were like super easy for me to make, and a lot of them were actually one takes.
Mm.
I wouldn't sit there for too long and like double take a video, man. It kind of just was what it was. And yeah, good question, man. Very good
Yeah,
question.
yeah, thanks. So another popular video of yours is you and a guy named Braden, and you're like, you're in character and you say something, and then it's like something for Instagram. You're taking pictures for Instagram or something like that. Go follow the Instagram. And was that a one take? Was that one take there?
Yeah, that was the one take. That's actually my younger brother, Braden, who is an artist, and he's kind of like fallen out of his little music career and stuff like that because it's not really the route that he's chose. But he's kind of like getting back into it lately, I think. Anywho, that was a promotional video that I did for Braden. A lot of people didn't understand that, and I got a lot of push on Instagram by doing that to like both me and Braden's pages because of the Instagram pictures, right? So Braden was dropping a song and I was freaking blowing up on TikTok, so I helped him get some traffic. And I remember we got like that video on YouTube, or that song that we were helping push, it got like anywhere between like 5 and 10,000 views on YouTube, which for like us at the time was like insane, you know, that we could convert those, that like even that type of numbers from TikTok to YouTube, man. But yeah, that was behind that video.
Yeah, I think that was a very smart move, and it shows that you are willing to help people, you know, get to the point that they want to be in life, and you're not just trying to make it yourself. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, it comes to like once you get to a certain point, you know, like you realize that you either sit at the top and you're all alone, or it's like you build like a team of people. And you know, like if there's anything that I learned in life as a young man, like you can't do anything alone. And I think that's something very important that everybody has to understand, bro. It doesn't matter how big your team is or how big your circle is. You definitely got to have a circle, and let that be important to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard in Jinxie and Queso's, you know, podcast. Did you see that, by the way?
Yes, I sure did. Yes, I sure did.
Okay, they talked about, and I think it was Moist too. They talked about how like if they kept the people in their lives who were there before they made it, and that's why they're so much happier than the people who lose everything and, you know, travel all over the place and try and, you know, gain clout in other places. So I think that you're that type of person who will just like keep his circle small and keep his people close that were there before, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, man. And I think I appreciate you saying that. And I think it boils down to like a few different things that happened in life, bro. Like, you know, like when you blow up that quick and you're given an audience that quick, it also comes with so many like things. And I learned so much in that period of my life, bro, where, you know, I was giving an audience of like hundreds of thousands of people, and, you know, I was making decent money doing it. But, you know, there was also a level of awareness that I had, or like in my subconscious, where I was kind of big-headed in some certain areas. And I'm so thankful that life has like made me come back to the drawing board and made me more of a ruthless content creator, and learned so much more in these past couple of years, because I feel like if I would have stayed at that point, it would have changed the person that I am today, for sure. I wouldn't have maintained like such a humble attitude that I have now if I would have stayed the way that I was.
Yeah, that's so well said. I think that's awesome. And you show it by doing what you're doing today. So,
Thank you, bro.
yeah, no problem. Another question. So first of all, before I say this to your chat and my chat, I just want to say that you have stated this, okay? You said that you have fallen off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't want to, you know, say like, oh, you fall off. You know?
Yeah,
But
no.
so why do you say you've fallen off? Like, where did that come from?
Well, first, man, I started seeing it in like comments on my TikTok, man, and like that's like the worst thing for any creator to see. Like, you know what I mean? And especially on TikTok, like you blow up doing one thing. As soon as you try to like branch out and do other things, bro, it is so freaking hard. Like, and a great example of this is the Backpack Kid. You know, like that guy that did that little dance and he got on Fortnite and was doing all these shows and stuff, and now like he's like always responding to those fall off comments, like trying to make a spin back of like something cool that he's doing, you know. And I just think that's like, if you compare it to my life or any other content creator out here, man, yeah, like if you have to go back to the drawing board, bro, like take it as more of like a as a blessing and learn.
Yeah. So I also follow the Backpack Kid, and now he's like he makes music and stuff, right? And like do you think he purposely is singing bad, by the way?
I honestly just, I don't know if I really could have an opinion on it because I don't watch him too much, and I don't know if I've heard his stuff. But I will say that like I think that the posts that I have seen from him are like just modeled in a way, like as an editor, it's like when you want to retain viewers on a video, you do certain things, and he does a lot of those little gimmicky things where he's like trying to pull sympathy out of the crowd for the extra 10 seconds of views, so they get like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, bro. Like I could say whatever, but I think like at the bottom of it, he's a really good kid. I actually met him at Rolling Loud, and like he has no idea who I am or anything. And I'm not like sitting there, you know, freaking being like, yo, you know. But I met him, and yeah, really cool kid, and I think he's just like very determined to see himself in a different setting other than you know, being the Backpack Kid, which is cool. You know, you got to root for him in that sense.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit similar to you, right? Like you're trying to take your content in another direction, so you guys are like following in similar footsteps.
Absolutely, yeah, man.
Now I want to know that. I mean, you met the Backpack Kid, you know, with your growth. Did you meet or collab with any like other, you know, very popular TikTokers or anybody crazy?
Yeah, man. So there was a situation where it's really cool. So there's this guy where I follow. His name is Colin Ray, and he's a prison TikToker where he like got out of prison and shares a lot of his stories and stuff like that. And I remember seeing his first video, like one of the first weeks that I got TikTok, and it was like him coming home surprising his mom. And at that point, he was like sharing the video same way that I shared a video, and it was like 2 years old at that point. Very similar. It blew up, and he was given his platform. So like the way that we blew up was very similar. So as I was coming up, I knew that about the both of us. And there was like one day, man, where he just like was like messaging me in my DMs, and then like it turned into like a 3 a.m. FaceTime call. And then at that point, I had my van that I was traveling in. We'll probably get into that in a little bit. And I went down there, man. I visited him, and like he was the exact same person on and off camera. Very just humble guy, bro. And kind of like my TikTok dad for a while, bro, if you want to call it. And he gave me a lot of opportunities. Like when he moved out to LA, when he was like living in a TikTok house, you know, they let me come out there and stay out there for a couple weeks, make content, all that stuff. I actually spent my 21st birthday with them, bro. It was really cool stuff. And
dude,
yeah, a lot of different creators, a lot of different situations, bro. Like just cool stuff, but like also weird things, you know, being out in LA, just some stuff like I've never seen before as like a regular like kid, bro, you know. So it's definitely some weird and cool stuff.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I didn't know that that this Colin Ray person, I actually just pulled up their TikTok. I was looking at a couple of his videos. I think I've seen him before, but I don't know if I know who he is.
It's definitely a very niched creator. I feel like TikTok is very niche. Like if you followed Ozzy, it was like you knew about these other creators, but like if you followed this certain person, you wouldn't know about these creators. It's a lot different than it was, and than it is like now, you know. So
yeah. So what changed? Like what do you think happened that made you like fall off?
So one of the biggest things, man, is like during the TikTok thing with Ozzy, there was like a few bigger creators that were a bit smaller than me, but still had like hundreds of thousands of followers, right? So big platforms, coming at me and like attacking me, calling me ableist for my content, saying that I was, and at that point I had no idea what that word meant, bro. Like I was naive. It was like clear in my intentions that I wasn't trying to do that because I don't even know what the word meant. You know what I'm saying? Right. So as I'm like researching all this stuff, it's like I started to understand that these people were like mad at me because they thought I was trying to portray like somebody that is like special needs, when in actuality it's like a character that I made up, and it's just the character. So it's like, I don't know, man. It kind of like, there's two ways you could look at it, right? So I had people that are like, you know, with like autistic kids or like, you know, some like hitting me up and they're like, dude, this is not even offensive. Like, how could people even like make that judgment? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then there's people on the other end that were like canceling for it. So it was like the first time where I was like in some internet drama, and it scared me away from making some of that content, and it changed the content for a little bit, man. I remember trying to like pivot the content, and I was still doing good, like getting views and stuff because of the magnitude of people that I attracted in that small amount of time. However, you know, as I started doing different things and changing things, the views started slowly to decline. And, you know, I started getting into like just different substances, let's say, that were not good at all. And bro, it just literally just started to go do down and down and down until, you know, like I woke up one day and I decided it's time to change. Yeah.
So were you like, did it become a problem with these substances?
Yeah, man, 100%. Like, I remember just like making like the marijuana thing a part of my like personality. And like to this day, man, like there's still days where like I struggle with it per se, because it's like I have a addictive personality. So it's like I could be out somewhere and somebody could offer it to me and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I probably shouldn't be doing this, you know what I'm saying? But then there's like days where it's like I get like a big win and it's like, you know, I can enjoy a few beers or whatnot. So I think it's just the big learning piece is like I have to really keep an eye on that stuff if I want to be successful. And that's been a big part of my life like the past 2 years, bro. It's just like, you know, there's been some drug stuff that I had to nip in the butt, and then, you know, just seeing how bad I can get with alcohol, and then just being on the, you know, thankfully being on the other side of that and looking in hindsight and just being able to be like, oh my gosh, like where I'm at right now, I'm a completely different person, and I want to maintain this aura and just, you know, keep moving forward.
Hell yeah. I love that. I wanted to let you know too that you're the 10th person I followed on TikTok.
No way, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. You're number 10. Yeah.
Dude,
and
that's crazy.
So, Greer. Do you know Jacob Greer?
Jacob Greer, I do know him. Yes.
Okay. Have you made any content with him?
No, I haven't. But he is actually one of the bigger creators that like I looked up to back then, bro. Because I remember he was like kind of the same like niche space where he had like that alter ego type. You know, I really like that about his content. He's flawless at making it too, dude.
Yeah, I actually put you and him in the same boat. Like I followed both of you guys and were like, these guys are super similar, and I loved your guys' content. So he's kind of like stuck with the same thing. I've seen him recently post a couple of like the alter ego stuff, but with a girlfriend or something. And then he also has been doing like these battles with his dad. Yep. What's your opinion on TikTok battles?
Like the live battles is what you're saying?
Yeah. What's your opinion on those?
Dude, honestly, bro, I don't know too much about it because it's like in the live TikTok space, and I was more of like a short creator. I did mess with the live stuff, but I was never like super duper into it and never really like studied it. But I will say I do know of a few people that are making like 6-figure, 7-figure like dollar incomes doing just that.
Just the battles, huh?
On TikTok, 100%.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, and what's crazy about it too is like, you're literally just farming money from people, right? Like you're in the lives and you're like, come on, tap the screen, you know, battle, give me stuff, let me win, and it's like basically like, give me money, right? Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
The other day, I was in your chat and you talked about the Poggers community and the WL community. So you had said that on Twitch you really farmed like the Poggers community, which I feel like I personally fit in with pretty well as the Poggers community. Yeah. I do enjoy a few WL community creators. But typically I watch like Poggers community people. Like I would consider, I don't know what you consider it, but XQC, for example, I would consider him a Poggers
100% Poggers community. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a big XQC fan. I've been watching him for a long time. So why this switch? Do you feel like you fit more in with the WL community? Is that why?
Yeah. So I think, it really boils down to like the type of like, there's two sides to it. So it's like the type of person you are and the type of person, like, I guess there's like a few different areas to it. I guess The biggest one for me, man, is like the type of person you are and like what you're putting out, right? So if it's like attracting like the side of, let's say, Twitch, right? That is, you know, throwing in the Keck W's and the Pog stuff in the chat, you know, like that side of Twitch. It's I don't think there's like a good or a bad thing, you know. It's just like different types of content, because then you got like the WLers that are like more like event streamers that are getting like, you know, the rappers on and like doing like tying in music into the streams, and then like kind of pulling pop culture into streaming. And that's why I've kind of moved from like the poggers side of like streaming to like that, because I just see myself more as an entertaining creator in that space. And that's also why I've moved over from Twitch to Kick as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to know your opinion on, you know, Twitch overall versus Kick overall. So like, did you like your time on Twitch? Is it a Twitch problem that you moved to Kick, or is it I just wanted to move my community and change it?
It's definitely like 50-50, because I've received 2 different bans from Twitch for things that were like completely out of my control, and like it was really hard to get in contact with them. And then like, you know, 30 days of that was like my income, you know what I'm saying? And I was banned, and it was like this whole thing, and that happened when I was full-time almost probably over a year ago now. And yeah, so like just different things like that. I know that like if there is a problem, like I can't go there. Like my words are not going to matter to Twitch. And I've just had and seen so many creators just move over to Kick, bro, and they're just very like on the ball with like helping a creator out, if that is a few words to fit in a grand scheme of things when it comes to like monetization, deals, getting your stuff seen on the platform, because we all know that like Twitch, there's like little to no discoverability.
You know, people have this stigma about Kick, right? You know what people say about Kick. How do you think that's something that'll go away with time? Do you think that, you know, because there's some creators on Kick that don't make it look very good, and I'm sure you're this isn't the first time you're gonna hear about it, or I mean, this isn't the last time you're gonna hear about it. So what do you think about that?
So I think when we're thinking about platforms like Rumble and Kick,
no kid or FD says you can't suppress my voice.
And when we are talking about stuff like that, I think it really boils down to like the platforms themselves, right? So like if you're on Kick, right, we all know that there's been a few things that happened like in the past couple weeks with a few streamers that were like just using their platform and the platform the wrong way. And I just think that like no matter what platform you're on, it's gonna happen. So like for people to have like this really bad stigma about Kick, I get it 120%, because like it's new, stuff's already been happening, it's a little bit more lenient over here. If you're banned on Twitch, good reason, like there's a good chance that your favorite creator that got banned on Twitch is over here or went somewhere else. So I totally get that. But I think like in the grand scheme of things, I do think that Kick is going to take down, like not take down, but like surpass Twitch when it comes to like things like monetization strategies, and you know, like their funding is just like can't be topped, bro, because they're funded by Stake, which is that, you know, gambling website. So it's just like, bro, they have, you know, like if they wanted to pull you off of Twitch, bro, and throw you like 30 grand deal or 50 grand deal, like what would you say? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if they're starting to like monetize their platform that way and get creators over there, which they have been doing, you know, I think it's gonna just, it's also gonna make them look really good. So I think that kind of waters down the like the chaotic raunchiness side to Kick, right? Because they're doing all that and they're making creators like they're literally making creators' lives right now, you know.
Would you take a stake deal, like a gambling deal, if you had to gamble like so many hours?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be
for the right price.
I'm gonna be very honest, yeah, because at the end of the day, bro, like when you are a creator and you're like monetizing yourself, it's like, bro, by any means, I'm gonna do 90% of the things that are gonna go get me that bag, you know. And gambling is one of those things where it's like, yes, I'm gonna do like a gambling stream once a week if that's gonna, you know what I mean? If that's my paycheck that week, yeah, 100%. However, is it gonna be like my personality? No. Is it gonna be the thing that I want to see myself turn into? No. Is it gonna be something that like I'm gonna be streaming like going into casinos? Ah, God, I hope not. You know what I'm saying? So it falls back into the same category with like the addictive personality thing, because it's like I don't want to be doing things that's like, you know, could actually be detrimental to my mental health or my health, right? Like and I want to be making the best content. I think keeping myself in the best mental space, I create the best content. It's just a given, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's great. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I watch XQC, and you know he gambles, so and
Yeah.
he's signed to Kick too. So like, I'm not like my opinion on gambling is it's so like weird because people do other things on stream that are just as bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
That's a good
there's not
point.
they don't have a problem with it
That's a
until
really good point. Yeah.
you know, like people drink on stream, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
shit, I drink on stream. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely people who are under the age of 21 who are
Are
watching.
watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
like they're hanging out with like, you know, someone virtually hanging out with somebody. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I think it really just boils down to, man, like at the end of the day, like, bro, I could be sitting here and be mad at like a handful of people for like what these platforms like allow on their website and stuff. At the end of the day, it's not my battle to fight, and when I have a kid, it just makes me realize like, yo, I really got to be tapped in with what these kids are seeing. Because even like my little brothers, when they're going on to Kick, seeing my stream, like on the front page, but I don't know what's on there. You know what I'm saying? Like that scares me a little bit. So, and it's even like that
yes.
on Twitch now, which is like
Hmm.
ridiculous, you know? So, that's just something that I don't agree with. Just like the P word and like all that, like, you know, the nakedness. That's the one thing that I can't do. Cause like I've seen it tear up families and relationships, and you know, for some people that's alcohol and that's drugs, you know. It's just like everybody's got their shtick, I guess, you know. But yeah.
I've seen that on both platforms, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest. So it's
Yeah.
not, I don't think that's a one platform
Yeah,
issue.
neither do I. Yeah, I think it's everywhere.
Hmm. That's why, like, you know, and back to Jinxie, he was saying in the podcast that you know, his issue with it was like the fights that are happening on Kick and breaking out, and like the pranks that are
Yeah,
happening
with like
on there
Jack
as well.
Daughtery and like Neon and like those
Yeah.
creators. Yeah.
Yeah, and I personally am not a big fan of them. I understand why people like them, but me personally, it's definitely not for me, and I can understand why a lot of people don't like him. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I definitely agree with his opinion on how, you know, it can it can make Kick look bad, and people will always flood to those examples to, you know, shit on Kick, you know.
100%, man. Like,
Neon, yeah.
yeah, like Jack Daugherty and Neon, bro. Like, I don't know. I've been seeing some more clips of Neon though, and I think he's really like self-aware. He's a lot more self-aware than that Jack kid. And I think
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be doing some cool stuff. Trying to change his image. But you know, I think the important thing that everyone takes away from this is like, if you're trying to be an internet personality and like, dude, like the things you say, the things you do, like everything, like it can be dug up, you know, everything, bro. So like be careful what you're doing out here and what you're saying, and also try not to move without a plan and an end goal in mind, because I think I'm damn right on guessing these kids, bro, because I was the same way. I was just making content, it was doing good, but I never had a plan. Like I didn't really think about the end goal. So, you know, these kids are probably, you know, doing the same thing, getting millions of views, but they're not seeing the impact on like, oh my gosh, bro, like what is this gonna do when I'm trying to do some important media in 10 years? And like I was the
Yeah.
kid like pissing people off and like being a nuisance, right? So I think that's the things that we talk about when we think about business and stuff. What's up, chat? Love you guys. I'm seeing you
Yeah,
guys.
no, yeah, no. I feel bad that you know, people are trying to talk to you and stuff, and I'm
No,
taking you
don't
away
even
from
worry
it.
about it. Don't even worry about it. I'm reading it. This what it's
Okay,
gonna be like when I can't read chat, bro? Like, is this
I
what
know
it's
when
gonna
it's
be like,
moving too
Punch?
fast. Yeah, yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah. And I want you to know I'll be there when it is moving too fast. So,
Dude, you're the GOAT, bro.
dude, thanks. And like I said, I appreciate you, you know, taking the time to let me, you know, ask you these questions.
Bro,
And
100%, bro.